Would you like me to show you how to make healing modern armor and healing giant death robots that heal 15 hit points per turn and heal adjacent units 10 hit points per turn? If so, come with me and I'll show you how. I almost forgot to mention that this is going to take triple to quadruple the resources, and it's going to take at least 5,000 years to do it. So if that didn't scare you off, come with me, I'll show you how to do it. And yes, you can probably tell that I'm brand new to making videos. This is my new gaming channel. It's about a month and a half old now. As you can tell, I'm in my mom's basement playing video games. So please subscribe to my channel if you want some more gaming content and some tips and tricks for nice ways to make amazing units in Civ V too. So please subscribe, comment down below, let me know that you did, and feed the algorithm, and let me know if my content is good or bad and how it can improve or how it can deprove, I guess. But thank you so much. Let's get right to it. Now, this is probably going to be a strategy that won't appeal to a lot of players because it really does take about 5,000 years, and it takes a bunch of things to come into play to make sure that these things can be made. But it's pretty great. Now I'm going to walk you through some steps that I take to make sure that I can have a playthrough that maybe allows this to happen, possibly, because it can't happen every time. It is not a strategy that you can plan on using. You just keep your eye out for certain things to be falling into place, and then you know after enough time has passed and enough things have gone right for you that you can make these beautiful units. Here we go. First of all, single player setup game. Now, I have the Shoshone picked in a game that I already have going. It doesn't matter what nation that you use. You can use any nation you like. The map type is Earth, or you can use one that's Pangea or continents. What you want is a map that has big land masses. If you play one that has small land masses and maybe a lot of oceans, you're going to have a harder time getting your hands on resources, because that's what you need. The map size I use is huge because it gives me the largest land masses and the most resources I can get. Now, something that's kind of important is the difficulty level I play on is either King or Emperor. This one is going to be on King. If I play on the hardest settings like Deity or Immortal down here, it makes this strategy not really worth it because your units are probably going to get killed easier, because this is an end game strategy. I mean, giant death robots can only get made at the very end of the game, so if you play on hardest settings, you're probably going to lose these troops and they're not as worth it to make. So I pick King or Emperor on difficulty setting. The game pace, marathon, you can pick whatever pace you want, doesn't matter. Now let's go to advanced setup. I don't like a cluttered map. If I have too many nations around me, they're going to get their hands on the resources that I need to make this happen. So I cut city-states down to about 4 or so, and the civilization count I put down to about 8. That way there's less people around that can take your resources that'll keep you from building healing giant death robots. And also, because this is an end game strategy, you're probably going to lose to some other victory type like science or cultural or diplomatic or whatever. I turn those off and just keep it to domination because I'll be inflicting peace upon the entire world. Anyhow, so pick your victory types, doesn't matter. If you do lose, just hit the old wait one more turn and keep playing until you make these beautifully tough units. Also, one last thing, the game era I choose to start in is the ancient era, because along with certain things I'll show you later on in the video, I'm going to want to build 1 or 2 world wonders. And if I choose the information age or atomic or modern era, I probably won't be able to build those, and you probably can't make these troops. So I pick the ancient era. You pick whatever you like, but the best chances of having success means starting in the ancient era. Now, in order to build modern armor, of course you need aluminum to build those, and here, to build a giant death robot, you need uranium. We're not building the normal regular units, and I suspect there are some expert Civilization V players out there that have a pretty good idea as to what I'm going to be doing. Alright, what you're going to need to build these healing giant death robots is, this city is covering some uranium. You'll need that. That's one of the 4 resources you'll need. Here's my aluminum. You'll need that as well. Down here, I have a city built close to some oil. That's the 3rd resource you'll need. And the number 1 resource you will need, the one thing that if you don't have, you cannot do this at all. I'm sure you all know by now. Drum roll, please. Horses. You will need access to horses in your empire to build these things. They need those 4 resources, and if you're missing any of them, you can't do it. Of course, if you're missing uranium, you can build the modern armor, but not the giant death robots, not the healing modern armor or healing giant death robots. So, with these horses here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building cavalry, and they're going to be getting 3 promotions. And we're going to be upgrading them much later on in the game up to giant death robots. It's going to be a long ways from now, and I'll walk you through it. Now, I'm going to give you a little background on my empire and how I start it and maintain it to show you how I give myself as good a start as I can get to make sure that I can make these things. Of course, I have my capital city here, Mosankani. I'm playing the Shoshone, by the way. And whenever I build an empire, at first, I only build 2 other cities, and that's it for a while. So I'm going to have 3 cities for a long time. And I make sure that the next 2 cities, besides my capital that I build, those 2 cities need to have access to happiness-producing luxury resources. Right here, Timok has access to silk right here. And my other city, my 3rd city that I built, Gaidika has access to ivory and gems as well. You want those luxury resources because you're going to need plenty of excess happiness. Because you're going to need other cities in the future that are going to be securing these resources for you. So you want plenty of excess happiness to go. And so, work on building your first 3 cities, including your capital, of course. But you only want 3 cities initially right away. Open your technology tree. The first technology you're going to want is animal husbandry. This reveals horses on the map. And as soon as you get the technologies that reveal horses or oil or aluminum or uranium, over here on the right-hand side, it's going to notify you above your mini-map. It'll say you've discovered these resources in your empire. This never happens to me, hardly ever, so it's a rarity, but it does happen. But once I discovered animal husbandry and revealed horses on the map, I searched over my territory. Keep in mind, I only have 3 cities right now. This is a playthrough it's right now the year 2062. And this is also my playthrough where I made my ultra bazookas that are nearly immortal. And if you want to learn about those, I have a video showing you how to turn your scouts into nearly immortal bazookas in Civ V. So that'll be at the end of the video as well. And I'll try to put it inside the video at another time as well. So you can click onto that one and learn some more tips and tricks. But now that I have my 3 cities built and I have revealed horses on the map, I take a look around at the map and I see if these resources are close enough to me that I can secure them. This is why I say this strategy isn't always something you can plan on, because if these resources, any of these 4 resources, are too far away from you, you probably can't do it, because if you build a city a long ways away from your capital, it might get attacked and taken, and you can't do anything about it. You want these resources to be kind of close by to where you are. So, my horses are revealed, and I found 2 down here at first, and these 2 are 4 tiles away from my city down here. 4 tiles still gives me access to it, but it's kind of far enough away that somebody else could make a city down here and take them from me. So I didn't think that they were like solidly mine, but just in case, I built a pasture on them anyhow and got myself 2 horses. Now, I saw 4 horses down here that were pretty close to my capital, but too far away to get used. So I built a settler and built the city of Goshute. And that's way I secured another 4 horses. Now I have 6 horses. I have secured the most important resource I'm going to need to make my healing modern armor and healing giant death robots. The second technology you're going to need, go to your technology tree. Where is it? There it is. You're going to need biology. Biology reveals oil on the map. In addition to biology, you're also going to want to get refrigeration, because with this you can build offshore platforms, because oil sometimes appears in the water. Once I discovered those 2 technologies, I checked the map around my 3 cities, or 4 cities at this time, and I found no oil in my empire or close to my cities. But I did find some close by in the ocean here, so near Agaitica. So I built a city called Pohakwi, and I built an offshore platform here to give myself oil. I now have 2 of the resources I need to make my giant death robots. Resource number 3, go to your tech tree. The third technology you need, well, 4th technically, but because you have to get refrigeration as well. But what you want is electricity. That reveals aluminum on your map. And of course, once I revealed it, I checked around my empire, didn't see any in my empire, but near the city of Goshute, I saw these 2 sources of aluminum over here. I then built another settler to build a city of Washaki over here and secured myself the 3rd resource that I need, my aluminum. Now keep in mind, I don't like building this many cities because I like keeping my city count low to conserve happiness, but I wanted these resources, so I built settlers to secure these cities and get these resources for me. So now time is passing in your empire, you're building your cities, securing these resources. Open up your tech tree again. The 4th, and I almost got ahead of myself, one extremely important technology. It's important for a reason you might not understand right away. Combustion. Do not get combustion. I'll repeat it again. Do not get combustion. Once you get combustion, what happens is you lose the ability to build horse-mounted units in your cities. And that's terrible because you need cavalry to build these units. Although you could use knights, because what you want is the promotion tree the cavalries have access to. Knights have the same promotion tree as well, but they're 1 upgrade behind cavalry, and because you're going to be upgrading your cavalry 4 times to make giant death robots, knights would make it 5 upgrades you would need. So you're saving some money by waiting to build the horses until you can make cavalry. Or in my case here, Comanche Riders, because I'm playing the Shoshone. But let's go back to the tech tree now. So avoid combustion, but the 4th technology you need is atomic theory. Now you reveal uranium on your map. And of course, I checked around again and found 0 uranium in my empire. So I looked around and I found 2 sources close by. Keep in mind, if these resources aren't close by to me, I'm probably not going to pursue this strategy. But I found 2 sources quite close by. Here's my capital. Here's 4 up here. I built a city right on top of it, gave myself 4 uranium. I found 2 more over here, built a city on top of that, and got 2 uranium from that one. I also turned off the growth in both these cities here in my uranium. That one I turned back on a while ago, but this is, don't worry about that. But turn on the avoid growth button so it's checked green. That way these cities don't grow. You just want the uranium and that's it. One thing to keep in mind about your horses. The horses are the crucial keystone of how you do this strategy. And what I did is I have 6 horses, and I actually went into my social policies and I chose the ideology of autocracy because that gives me access to third alternative here. It takes 2 of each of these level 1 tenets to get to these level 2. But that's fine, just keep on getting your culture. Hopefully you're using your Ultra Scouts to get your culture with. Watch my video to learn how to make those. Third alternative doubles your strategic resources, like your horses, and your oil, and your aluminum, and your uranium. The mistake that I made with my horses is that I let one go into a trade agreement with another nation. That removed that horse from my list of horses up at the top there, where you list all your resources. I had access to 12 altogether, but because I gave one horse in a trade agreement, I only had 11. So I'll only be able to make 11 healing giant death robots. It's a small thing, but be careful with that if you don't have a lot of horses. So you might be cutting yourself short by not having as many horses as you thought you had by putting them off in trade agreements. So be careful of that. Now, I have all 4 of the resources I need to build my horses. I'm not going to build any yet. Cavalry, I should say. You don't want to build any cavalry until you can start them off with 3 promotions. You could build them fresh with no promotions and go and attack barbarians and get 2 promotions, but it's not going to get you 3. You'd have to go to war with somebody else, and I don't play that way. I only go to war at the very end of the game. So I'll show you what I do. Those 4 resources are just one aspect of what it takes to make these guys. This is tough, and that's why it takes 5,000 years. All right. In my capital city, to make sure that my troops have all the promotions they need, I have built all the buildings that give you experience points. The barracks gives you 15 experience points. The armory gives you 15 experience points. And, where are you? The military academy gives you 15 experience points. Those 45 experience points will only get you 2 promotions. Here's where it gets a little tricky. I have also built lots of wonders in my capital city. As you can tell, these are all the wonders. One thing that I have built is the Leaning Tower of Pisa, because if you build it, you get a free great person of your choice. If I can build this thing, I pick a great engineer, because they can put a huge amount of production towards something being built. And what I build is either Alhambra or the Brandenburg Gate. And if you can build both of those, even better. I also build the Heroic Epic, but it's not vital for this. But it is still nice to give your troops as many promotions as they can get. So, when you build Alhambra, it gives you Drill 1. That's what the promotion is called. That it gives you a bonus in rough terrain. That's what your first promotion would be in your cavalry if you just gained experience points. You could choose between Drill 1 and Shock 1. But this one gives it to you for free. And if you can't build Alhambra, you have to build the Brandenburg Gate. Otherwise, you can't do this. So, now keep in mind, you don't have to build these experience point producing buildings in your capital right away. You only want to have them built when you want to build all your cavalry. And keep in mind, don't learn combustion either, because sorry, I'm shaking my table. You can't build any more cavalry troops once you learn combustion. But you can hold off on building these experience point buildings for a long time, because they'll cost you money. You don't need them right away. I've gone back to an earlier save of mine to buy a Cherokee Rider and show you just how great they are when you have all those experience points. Comanche Rider. There we go. And I have all my buildings in place. It's the year 2050. I have my armory, my barracks, my military academy, and I have the Brandenburg Gate and Alhambra. Buy those Comanche Riders. Now, there we go. That's what you want to see. This is how you make them healing troops. If you had experience points that you earned from battles, you would first be given the choice of choosing between Drill 1 down here and Shock 1. Those are the 2 choices you have. Pick either one of those, it doesn't matter. What does matter is this cross right here, Medic. No matter what you pick beforehand, pick this one and Medic 2. Those are the two promotions that give you what. This is where the magic happens. Medic 1 says all units in adjacent tiles heal 5 additional hit points. And Medic 2 says all units in adjacent tiles heal 5 more additional hit points. Now, any unit that's hurt around you, that's adjacent to you, around you, is going to heal 10 hit points per round. And you're also going to heal an additional 5 hit points per round. So now your giant death robots are going to be healing 15 hit points per round, and they're going to become your hospitals. Ooh, it's great. Oh, and I have one more promotion here to pick because I have so much experience points from these buildings in my capital. So pick Sentry, you get +1 visibility. That's great for when you're fighting at the very end of the game. So that's what you want. That's what happens when you have all these buildings built, and you can't do it without those 3 experience point buildings, the Barracks, Armory, and Military Academy, and you cannot do it without either Brandenburg Gate or Alhambra. Now that you have hopefully built all those experience point buildings in your capital and at least one of those wonders, the Brandenburg Gate or the Alhambra, your empire should look a little like this. These are all my Comanche Riders down here. I have 7 right here, and I have 4 more down here. These guys are all set. And if you'll notice, I've now, because I have all these guys built, and each of these Comanche Riders, each of my cavalry, all have at least those 3 vitally important promotions, where they all have Drill 1 or Shock 1, but the next 2 they have to have are Medic and Medic 2. If you have all these cavalry built, it is now time to consider upgrading, and you can't do that without getting combustion, because you have to put them, because they're going to be upgraded to land ships, then to tanks, then to modern armor, and then to the giant death robots. So each of your troops has 4 promotions, and I have 11 Comanche Riders, 11 cavalry. That's 44 promotions. That's a lot of money. Now, you should have all of your cavalry built with their 3 promotions, and you should now be working on getting combustion. Now that you have all the troops set aside you want to have, all of your cavalry. And if you take a look over here, I'm at that point in this part of my save, my game saves. To upgrade them costs 910 gold pieces times 11 Comanche Riders. That's 10,010 gold pieces. That's a lot of money. Let's cut that down. I'll show you how. Go to your social policies. Look in the honor tree. Now, I've already gotten this, but what you want is called Professional Army. In the honor tree, I typically get these 2, and then here. This one cuts the gold cost of upgrading by 1/3. That's going to reduce the price of your 910 gold per upgrade down to about 605. All right, now that you've gotten that social policy, your price is now at 605. Down to your, over here on the left on your upgrade. That's a good price. That's a savings of 3,300 gold pieces. There's one more thing you can do that you might not be able to do, but I'll show you what you can. Now here's one last thing you can do to cut that price down, and it's possible you might not be able to do it, because you're going to build another wonder. Where are you? Take a look down here. In my capital, I've built the Pentagon. Gold cost of upgrading military units reduced by 33%. That means that now my upgrade price is 305 per cavalry unit that I have. Now keep in mind, you don't have to upgrade all of these right away. You can upgrade them as you go. But what's most important is you get them built before combustion. You can upgrade 1 or 2 or 3 of these and keep the rest in reserve to upgrade later if you have losses. Hopefully you don't. But now, with the Pentagon being built, we can now upgrade our units for only a cost of 305 for the first upgrade. And I'll go through with you to show you all the costs of each of these upgrades. With these 2 reductions in price, I'm only paying 1/3 of the original price that it was. The original price puts the cost per unit, I think, at about 2,100 gold pieces. I'll show you the price now. Hold on. All right, the first price is 305. Bang! That's where the magic happens. Now, you can no longer get promotions from the cavalry line at all, because you're not cavalry. You are a land ship. But now, you have all the benefits of your healing cavalry in your land ship. Let's go to the next price. The next upgrade. This is the beginning screen you saw at the very start of my video. This right here was a big hint showing you what I do. Here is the the upgrade. Here's my land ship. It cost 305, now it's 50 more to upgrade. That's 355 in total to upgrade. Here's the tank. It costs 105. Now we're at 460 in total for the upgrade. Bang! Now, here's my modern armor. That costs 255 to upgrade to the... Hold on, I gotta check something. All right, here is the final step in what it takes to make healing giant death robots. Now, before I go and do this, you could stop with modern armor. It's hard to get all these resources, but right now, right here with this guy, you have your modern armor that has the 2 healing promotions. So he is now a healing modern armor. Now your front lines are that much better. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the upgrade to a giant death robot costs 255, bringing the grand total per unit to 715. Let's upgrade our unit. Boom! Yes! Yes! I love it! Now, here we go. Now, other units have access to these Medic 1 and Medic 2 promotions, like Mobile SAMs and Mechanized Infantry, and those guys are nice, but the Mobile SAMs have a health of like 65, and the Mechanized Infantry has a health of like 90. You now have made your hospital units the toughest units in the game. The Giant Death Robot's health is 150, and he now has here his Medic 1 and Medic 2, making this Giant Death Robot your healing Giant Death Robot. My God, I'm spent. Oh my gosh, this takes so long to do, and it's so hard to do. I want to thank you so much. I hope now you take these units, and the beautiful part is now these frontline units, you have 11 of them, or I do in this gameplay. You can put them on the front lines, and as soon as they get hit, pull them off, and that's what I do. I play somewhat conservatively, so as soon as a unit gets damaged, I pull them off to the back of the fighting and let them heal. Your giant death robots are now your hospitals. They're going to heal everyone around them and themselves for an increased amount. So they're going to heal 25 per round once they're surrounded by other healing units. So it's going to be... Golly, this takes so long to do. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my channel if you want more content from me, showing you tips and tricks. Also, a video at the end of this video shows you how I made my ultra bazookas, my near immortal bazookas, turning your scouts into immortal killing machines. And the little circle at the end there, that's how you subscribe to my channel, or it's one way to do it. So thank you so much, and I can't wait for you to comment and let me know how good it felt to make your healing giant death robots. Thank you so much.